Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Reg.
And I'm Torian B.
And today we're going to be getting into Attention Deficit. It's Wale's debut album that was released in 2009. It featured his big single with Lady Gaga, Chillin'. It had Jasmine Sullivan on it, Gucci Mane. It had a slew of different producers. You had the Neptunes, you had Cool and Dre, DJ Green Lantern, even gave an assist. And I forget, was this your idea, Torian? You pitched this one, right?
Yeah, I guess I'll take that.
Yeah.
You mentioned Gucci Mane is on the album, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Bun B.
Oh yeah, and Bun B is on this album. So
and it was executive, and the executive producer on the album was Mark Ronson.
Yes, yeah, that's very good to note too, because you'll notice that if you are familiar with Mark Ronson's work, you can definitely hear his influence on this and his direction on this. But this is a really interesting album from Wale. When we did want to do this, we spoke to the group, and like nobody really had anything that was really bad to say about this album. And so it had us thinking, like, well, how could we talk about this and still make it engaging? And I think we came up with the idea of the fact that Wale's career hasn't been the same since. He's showing us, Torian showing us his water progress. This nigga is drinking 2 liters of water a day.
2 gallons, man. 2 gallons.
Yeah, 2 gallons. Sorry, 2 gallons of water a day. So if he runs out of
bathroom breaks this episode.
Exactly. But nonetheless, Wale took a much different direction from the music that you hear on this album when he joined MMG. A lot of his cultural following and a lot of his fans that he has to this day are still loyal to this sound, though. And how do you think that affected his career?
Personally, I think that a lot of people failed Wale early in his career, and that's why he's so bitter. And this project, right, and everything that like led up to this. He had 2 projects before this, right? But like we all got to know Wale after 100 Miles of Running, Mixtape About Nothing. Back to the Future came out after this project, but it was still, like a huge deal surrounding it, right? So when Wale was doing all of this and like he was entrenched in it, he was very much like a everyman. And I think that, a lot of people could relate to Wale. And there were a lot of things that like he was doing culturally that was like the most normal, like most down to earth normal thing. I'll say this much. Of all the rappers that came out with him, right? Kendrick, Drake, Cole, right? I'll say only maybe Big Sean was as entrenched in like the culture as Wale was. And when I say that, I'm talking about in like fashion culture and just like knowing like what's going, like being in the know about shit and like being friends with people that are in the know. Do you agree with that, Reg? Would you?
I agree with that. That kind of had like that same trajectory at that same time.
Yeah, I feel like him and Big Sean were on like the same wavelength, whereas like a lot of things they understood, like a lot of things that were coming. They basically like knew what was cool. Like they were very much like they were kind of like influencers before influencers was a thing, right? So I think that with this project, it was kind of like a no-brainer for like Wale to be a superstar. He signed to Interscope Records. Interscope Records literally make stars. That's the label like that makes stars. You got Dr. Dre, you got 50 Cent, you got Eminem. The Rough Riders were over at Interscope. Like Interscope, and the Black Eyed Peas. The names goes on and on for the record label of Interscope, right? And I just think that with Wale, there were a lot of things that like were put on the back burner because so many other artists came out at the same time. But Wale didn't have that cosign. His cosign was Mark Ronson, who is not entrenched in the hip hop world like that. He's respected in the hip hop world, but Mark Ronson isn't the same as having a Dr. Dre cosign, having a Jay-Z cosign, having a Kanye West cosign. And I think that it says a lot. And I think that's why, like, early on in his career, like when him and Cuddy had like his little thing, for whatever reason, like I think Kanye was hoping that, I mean, Wale was hoping that Kanye might, you know, extend, his hand, be like, yo, come hang out, come be around us, like, or how Kanye did with Two Chainz. Just be around us. And for some
Didn't
reason, like, it just didn't happen.
didn't Cuddy say something like, "Yo, nobody even like your shit"?
Yeah, like basically, like, yeah, like I don't. That was some real mean girl shit that Cuddy
Yeah.
did with Wale, and it's really fucked up. But nobody talks about that. Everybody loves Cuddy. It's cool. But yeah, man, I really think that we don't take into consideration the reason why Wale is the way that he is. And I understand, like, some people say, like, he gets in his own way and everything like that. But pretty much he had all like that. Like in baseball, they call it a five-tool player. He had everything, right? I'm not saying Wale was the best rapper, but he could rap with the best. Um, he's not the most handsome guy, but he's not an ugly guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not he doesn't make the best songs, but his songs chart. Like everything just made sense for him, like as a rapper. Like he could do a little bit of everything very well.
Yeah.
He could step into any pocket. He can make a song for women. He can make a song for strip clubs. He can make a song to get you in a hyped up mood. He was a former athlete, so he knew how to do some of those things. So it was just a little.
Wale became like this guy that I look to for like really clear sports reference.
But yes, Wale just didn't get. I just think that Wale was failed by a lot of people in the industry, and that's why he's so bitter. And I know it's usually funny to make. I know it's usually the cool thing to make fun of Wale or say he's always complaining, but I think that he has every right to be angry, especially with like a really good debut album like the one that he has right here. His debut.
Yeah.
I'll say this: his debut album is better than Drake's.
Yes, it is. It is. I was listening to this album, and I was like, damn, like I feel like I was programmed to hate this album for some reason. Because when I was listening back, I'm like, damn, this album was actually pretty good. Like, because I don't think I heard this album since 2009. So like when it came up, I was like, damn, this is like refreshing. Hadn't heard it in
Yeah.
a while. The instruments, he doesn't even rap on beats like this anymore. Like he
Oh man,
he
go
when
Wale,
he made
bro.
yeah, this is full throttle go Wale. He doesn't rap on shit like this no more. So like when I was listening this morning, I'm like, damn, like this is like really good. And you understand more why his fan base was disappointed when he debuted on MMG with 600 Bends. That was like his debut song with MMG because it was such a turn. Like that's not the type of shit that he rapped on. So like for me, I was just still kind of a Wale fan. So I was just happy that he was with MMG because I wanted to see him do good. But when you listen to shit like this, where this is like the essence of his artistry, then you understand more. So I mean, I'm interested to see today our guest is gonna be LA from What's a Good Guy. Shout out to LA. And I know he has some thoughts on Wale, especially in this time frame and in the blog era. So I want to hear from him. Anything else you had to add before we get into this one?
I'm actually pretty excited to take this trip down, memory lane, especially talking about the blog era. So yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do it. So without further ado, this is case 141, attention deficit. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Reg.
And I'm Torian B.
Today we have a special guest by the name of LA. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys?
Today's episode is going to focus on Attention Deficit, which is the debut album from Wale. It came out in 2009 and it featured such guests as Bun B. You had production from the Neptunes, You had Gucci Man on this, Jasmine Sullivan, Chrisette Michelle, the big single, of course, from Lady Gaga, Melanie Fiona, J. Cole, Marsha Ambrosius. And you know, if you know Wale now, you know this was a big departure from the artist that he is now. So it was interesting, and we wanted to kind of talk about how his career has changed since then, and how like for better or for worse. Like, what do you think? 'Cause we've talked about Wale on here for like a few times before, but not in this way, in the sense that we're
Okay.
comparing. And when you look at how, what's up?
I didn't say
You said
anything. I'm
something?
just excited. No.
Yeah. When you look at how his career started out, you know, and Wale is over 10 years in this thing now, uh, and he's a vet, but he's not looked at that way. He's not looked at as this dude that came up with some of the biggest artists in the world currently. Like you got Drake as like the spearhead of that, right? You see how they came into the game around the same time and they went very different directions. So LA, what do you think about how Wale's career has ended up where he is now compared to where he was?
I think Wale's career panned out just fine. Now, is he the superstar that Cole and Drake is, or maybe even Big Sean? Probably not. But 2 number 1 albums since this album that debuted at 21. 2 number 1 albums, a number 2 album that would have been number 1 if, you know, Justin Bieber wasn't in the way. So I think he did all right. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, in his rookie year, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't cut the best sword or the best slice of the pie out of everybody that out of the debut. You know, Big Sean had Kanye West. Drake had Cash Money. J. Cole had Rock Nation. You know, it's kind of behind the 8 ball. And even though Wale was managed by Rock Nation during this album, he wasn't a Rock Nation artist, so he didn't have the mega cosign. So you could kind of look at it as a kid who went undrafted in the league and went on to have a couple of all-star appearances, a deep playoff run, and some standout defining moments in his career. So I think Attention Deficit was a solid debut that's underrated in his catalog, but you know, he had to be the underdog in this case. I would equate Wale to be a Jimmy Butler type player. You know, he came in being one thing and he developed into something else. You know, Jimmy Butler came in strictly on defense as a defensive stopper. Wale was a go-go rapper, and then over the time he developed a skill set that, you know, he wasn't just focused on defense anymore. His lyricism improved, his beat selection improved, his content improved, or it got versatile, because I think out of all the his classmates, Wale is the most lyrical out of everybody. That's my opinion, and I will stand on that. But I can't see anything that Wale maybe doesn't have the fan base as the bigger crowd, but you know, at the end of the day, he does have one of the true core followings that an artist can have. You know, Wale will be okay forever. Wale got songs that will tour forever. Wale got a wedding song. You know, I feel like these are certain artists that has a song that are solidified for the rest of their lives, and it may be quote unquote a funeral song, or quote unquote graduation song, or quote unquote wedding song. Wale has a wedding song, you know, and that's amazing to me. I don't think the Attention Deficit Wale would be able to produce a Matrimony without evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great points. But I think more so what we wanted to talk about, was the fact that, you know, a lot of his core fans are still attached to this sound. I think as he does grow, because I remember the disappointment that people had when he joined MMG because his sound changed so much. And I think yeah, but I think, you know, what happens is, and naturally, you just lose some people on the come up.
But you know what's crazy? I'm glad you mentioned that. Fuck. Shit. Was it Ambition? Or was
Which
it
one?
the next? It was he has a song called The Helium Balloon.
No, that's the album about
The
nothing.
album about nothing.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
And he talks about this.
Yeah.
And he talks about this. And you know what's crazy? I felt that way with I know this is not about Wale, but I felt that way with Drake for a while. But I just had to adjust to it because I was a Drake fan when he put out Room for Improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And I was early on that, and it was crazy enough. He used to ship the mixtapes from his mother's crib. So like we knew his address. That's how personal we had the connection with. And he had a blog post called All Things Fresh. And like we could actually engage with that. And then after a while it was like, damn, this no longer is the same nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially when Over came out. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is
this? I never liked it, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is this? So I feel like Wale's fans had a what the fuck is this moment when we heard him on 600 Beds.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But if you listen to the lyrics of 600 Bends, right? Wale is still Wale. I think it's the trap. I think who he's next to, and I think what comes after that what stands people off. But with a compilation album, you just got 16 bars. That may be the first 16 somebody hears, but it was like, yo, bro, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I get it. But
let me ask you a question. What did you think? Sir. I don't understand. He made Nike boots.
That's what I'm saying. So like
I'm just saying, but that was before his debut album. So I don't understand why. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand why it was jarring to people when he signed with MMG. Right? He needed to be next. There was no way he was going to Good Music. Kid Cudi, for whatever reason, blocked that. Right? Kid Cudi did not like that nigga. Right? Yeah. He essentially needed to go to a label that had. He essentially needed to go to a label that had a figurehead.
And he made the right decision because I think at that time Ross was MTV's hottest rapper of the year. When that top 10 list was important.
And I'll be honest with you, even though Ross and Meek have some of the more notable songs, I think that Wale got more out of being signed to Maybach Music Group than Meek did.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
I think that Meek got more. Meek has gotten more notoriety and press. I'm not trying to be funny in this. I know I take jabs at me, but Meek got more notoriety and press for dating Nicki Minaj, beefing with Drake, and going to jail than his music. My personal opinion.
Yeah, Wale's career was it was looking shaky after the Interscope, bro. Like he had one of those rare instances when you get dropped after your debut. Like no second chance.
But he didn't get no. But that's not what happened. Mark Ronson basically said that he didn't want to do it anymore. So Interscope was like, well, if you're not here anymore, what the fuck are we gonna do with him? So Wale was just in limbo, and that's why he was able to leave and not owe anything. Like he pretty much got to keep his advance and have to pay shit back.
Okay, so boom, he didn't get dropped. He got released. Does that sound better?
I'm just saying, I actually want to make sure that I speak well of him.
You're right. You're right. I don't want to make it sound like Interscope said, "Get the fuck out of here. You're no good. You piece of shit." It was like, "Yo, you could go." But but you got to look at it that way, though, right? He's still, if we're comparing, and you know why I feel like this sucks for Wale in a sense is because look who he came out with. You know what I'm saying? First of all, his double XL freshman cover is debatably top 3, right? And if they didn't fuck up with, right? Okay, cool. So if they didn't, and if they wasn't petty and leaving off Drake and Nicki on that cover, that would have been the greatest cover ever in hip hop for a draft class, right?
You think they were petty? I think they just missed it, and then they tried to get it right, but then
by
they were
giving
like,
them their solo. They gave them their solo covers.
They gave them their own cover.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a miss. I don't think that they missed. I thought. Well, I could be wrong, but I thought that they said that they thought that they wouldn't be able to get them or something like that. But like I think like they never reached out because they were like they're already too big for us to reach out, and like they were like extremely mistaken. Maybe they said that to save face though.
Yeah,
but potentially we all know what that draft class consists of. Nicki, right? Drake, Sean, Cole. We'll throw Cuddy in there. Wiz. That's a powerful class. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't Nipsey in there?
Nipsey was in there. You know what I'm saying? But Nipsey developed later on. But boom, look at this. Look at this. Look how long it took Nipsey to fully develop and the patience that we gave Nick to become who he is. Wale didn't get that grace. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's very different. You know why? You know why it's different though? Because Wale and Nipsey went very different routes. Nipsey went about it and he went about it in ownership. Ownership of things. So us as listeners and us as consumers, we know that ownership takes a little longer. So of course we give you that grace period. With Wale, it was just about getting it right with your management, with your team, with your music. That's all. That's what he had to get right.
But even that, right?
They just had different. But shit, I'll even say this much. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Now go ahead.
Nipsey had strong men around him. So he had Big U. Yeah. He had Steve Rifkin, right? Yeah. And he had his brother. So a lot of the people that he had around him was actually able to keep him solid.
And keep Johnny Snipes. Don't forget Johnny Snipes.
Johnny Snipes. I apologize. My apologies, right? So he had those people that were able to keep him grounded. Jimmy Iovine wasn't talking to Wale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Ronson, you know what I'm saying? Is like he's a creative, like he's a musician, but like he's not like he's not an executive that's really gonna say yo, we're behind you, don't worry, you got this.
And so, you know what sorry, bro. Go ahead. Sorry. I thought you was done.
No, I wasn't finished yet. Thanks, LA. So he just didn't have that. And I also feel like basically for me, for this case, I feel like there is a blame for why things aren't different. Like, of course, his career is fine. Like, he doesn't have to work again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can do things for his family and everything like that. You know, he's a well-known. He's known all over the world. Jerry Seinfeld is his friend. I think if Jerry Seinfeld is your friend, you can call him anytime you want. That makes you kind of won that life, right? But I feel like the culprit for basically everything that happened is Mark Ronson. I think that he should have done more to ensure that Wale's career did as good as it could have gone. Like, obviously, whatever happened with Mark Ronson and Interscope happened, but I kind of noticed that Mark Ronson has a kind of a pattern here. He did a similar thing with Amy Winehouse. You know what I'm saying? It's he finds these talented artists and he works with them, but then when they need him most, he's nowhere to be fucking found. I'm sorry to make it dark, but I'm done.
What you about to say, LA?
I think the first mistake, if we're talking about attention deficit, right? The first mistake is the lead out, chilling. It sets a bad narrative on what the artist Wale is supposed to be for the mainstream audience.
That was probably Jimmy Iovine, bro. Gaga was hot as fish.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. But that's a bad record to lead out with because it sets a bad precedent for me. If you look at the album, right, in full, and you take Chillin', it's still a good album. So we know what Chillin' was supposed to do. Chillin' was the chart chasing, big feature, big produced. Cool and Dre was on that. Lady Gaga, hottest fish grease. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she did the meat thing yet, or maybe she did.
She wasn't even hot as fish grease yet, honestly.
But she was that
yet.
She was bigger than Wale.
Yes, she was. But she
You know
wasn't.
What I'm saying? I think that was more, but that was more of a favor. You know, that you can tell that was an A&R. Somebody said, we're gonna get Gaga on this, and this is going to be the shit. This is the hit. This is the single. We're gonna turn this in, and Jimmy's gonna green light it. We probably gonna get some beats, and we out of here. You know what I'm saying? When I don't think that should have been it. You know what I'm saying? The true fans of Wale would have probably needed a diary to lead out first. Or maybe the record with Cole, which is my favorite record. Beautiful Bliss. You pair him up with somebody in his class, you know what I'm saying? You let them ascend together, you push them out, and then maybe a week before the album drop, you hit him with this big record chilling that'll keep the record going after. But leading out with this, looking at, if that's my first hearing of Wale, that's not my steez. Thank God I did my homework and actually listened to the album, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what I can see what the play was. But hearing that on the radio, that's a if that's on Hot 97, I'm gonna go to Power 105 until the song is done for me. Mm-hmm. I hate that record.
I never.
All right, understood. Correction. Poker Face was out around that same time, and Lady Gaga was like the hottest thing out. She was like that's why it was such a big deal that she was on the record. Like she was ascending at that time. Like
for sure.
So she was hot, right? So I agree with you that that's true. If that's your first time hearing Wale, you're like, yo, what the fuck is this? But what's the difference between Kid Cudi doing the Poker Face remix?
Because so okay, Kid Cudi and Wale is not the same artist, and they're not. I think Kid Cudi doing the Poker Face thing is more his aesthetic. His more of his bounce. He fit in. This was like, yo, Torian, we're gonna put you with this because this is gonna be a great look. They don't care about how it sounds or how it translates. They just want the look. This is the look for Wale.
So you're saying that that Cudi doing the poker, like flipping the Poker Face sample, fits his aesthetic more than it fits
Wale, for sure. Because I tell you this. I don't think Wale could get another Gaga feature.
I don't think he can. No.
I think there's a chance Cudi could get one. So my thing is, which one would you, or which one makes sense to run it back? You know what I'm saying? Would I run back another Cudi and they have this? Oh my God! I hope we don't get. Well, I'm gonna work on my phrasing of this. They have this this energy that's more natural. It's not awkward. It's more awkward seeing Wale tag team with Gaga, opposed to Cudi pairing up with Gaga. I feel like there's something that just felt like a label move. It doesn't look natural,
He's definitely more of a fluid artist. He's more of a guy that will partner up. If Cudi announced a tour with Gaga tomorrow,
nobody would be shocked.
Nobody would be shocked.
Bro, this record didn't even peak Billboard. It made Billboard 100 at 99. This is what a label would consider a flop.
Yeah.
So if you think about it that way, it just, what direction, as a new listener, my first time hearing this, what direction am I going with this guy? I don't know. Like, is he gonna be a flow writer? Is he gonna be a lyricist? Because he's rapping on here. But
I was gonna say he's rapping on this.
Yeah, he's rapping on here, but it's one of those records where you only care about the hook. You want the hook to do what the hook do. Whether it gets you a ringtone, whether it gets you radio spins, whether it keeps the lights on in the building. This is not about the record. This is about the hook. I felt like this was more for Gaga to get her in front of black people.
Nah, man, they wasn't worried about getting Gaga in front of black people. She had the kids already, as they're amply called. She was fine.
And,
Lady Gaga was fine.
And Gaga had a fat ass at that time. so we was looking already.
Look, I just think that a lot of I wasn't mad at the album. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a fan of Lady Gaga, so I was actually pretty excited to hear it. I think Wale's a musical dude. I also give Wale credit for influencing Jay-Z to travel with a live band. I know a lot of people. I know Jay-Z was doing it earlier, like because he did stuff with the Roots. Mm-hmm. But I really feel like Jay, like when because he managed Wale for a little while. I really feel that like Jay like really doubled down on it, like seeing how like Wale did it with the Go-Go Band, because Jay stopped traveling with the Roots, and a lot of the band that Wale was traveling with, he started traveling with him.
Why you think Jay didn't give him a feature? That would have been really needed. I feel like Wale also what could hurt Wale's career in a sense, or maybe hold him down to the lower tiers of his peer group. The opportunities that he got wasn't the best. I mean, even though nobody likes Mr. Nice Watch, he got a Jay feature. Jay has records with Big Sean. Jay has multiple records with Drake, and to me, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Wale
has a song with Jay. It just never can't come out. Meek
Mill you're breaking news. You're breaking news to me, my brother. Never heard about that.
Yeah, he has songs with Meek and he has songs with Wale, but like Jada never authorized them to use it. Like it was,
Would you like to play for us today?
I don't have it, nigga. I'm just telling you, the conversations that I've
had. This is great news, but I know, but that would have helped Wale. Like
it would have helped me too. Think about it, and like that.
But look, it helped me. Listen, I've seen more pictures with Meek Mill standing next to Drake than Wale standing next to his old manager. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Or look how many of his peer group. The only person that does not have a Drake feature is Wiz, but we kind of know why Wiz don't have one. And Wale.
Why Wiz don't have a Drake feature?
Why he don't have one?
Because Wiz curved the tour.
Oh, the Club Paradise tour.
Oh, Club Paradise.
Are you kidding me?
They actually, I think Wiz was Wiz was supposed to be on one of his single remixes. I could look that up real quick. But Wiz curved Drake's tour.
Gotta respect Wiz. Wiz was curving everything, man.
He curved MMG like he knew like he felt he was like, yo, I'm not. Why would I be your opener, nigga? Like I got black and yellow right now.
Yeah, he curved. I'll never forget when he curved MMG. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Currency curved too. Currency curved MMG. Nipsey curved MMG. Like
he and then he did his own Wake and Bake tour, which was smart, but at the same time, I know they were supposed to do if I'm not mistaken, I think Drake was supposed to hop on the Black and Yellow remix.
Wiz has some really big fucking records, man. He like you were talking about funeral records before. That See You Again shit is gonna have him paid forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like the royalties on that must be ridiculous. But like I guess let's focus back on Wale, right? So looking at this album and like I was listening to this and I was like, damn. This album, him doing this album live would probably be an experience. That would be an experience hearing this album live because he would have the instruments there. Like it would like really, he would have to do that. He should have did that for like the 10-year anniversary or some shit because that would have really went off. That would have been a way.
Maybe he doesn't have the love for the album anymore.
A lot of artists don't have the love for their first projects because it's not theirs. It's not what they really wanted to do.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Which is weird because I feel like a lot of the sound, like the production and everything is his, but I think maybe it's just the experience. Like how like Cameron talks about like a lot of I think his first 2 albums he doesn't really care for because like it had a lot of influence in it that he didn't want. So
from Big Biggie's old man, right?
I did see him talk.
Big on. Yeah, actually, I just got an idea for a new episode.
Okay. Well, I do wish that he cared about this album because when I listen to it, it is like we said, it's a departure from his other shit. But it's not to shit on his other shit either, because when you listen to Ambition
Great
is
album.
Ambition is pretty good. A lot of people don't like Ambition.
Nah, that's his shit. That's his shit.
Ambition. I like Ambition and I like Forlorn. But
Ambition. He, you know how like
Ambition got that with him and Neo, right? That shit was fire. That
Ambition. Fire. You know how White Linen.
Yes.
You know how artists can literally sit there and say, "Yo, I put so much into this album. This is my album." I felt like every record he took his time. Like even the way he rolled out Ambition with "Don't Hold Your Applause for Me." Like he's literally telling you, "Yo, appreciate me now, please. I want to hear you. Don't wait till I'm dead." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then he embodies his role in MMG with the Double M Genius. He got a classic record that way with Trevor. Let me tell you something with Atlantic Records and MMG. They dropped the ball on 2 artists, Wale and Omarion. Omarion gave them 3 hits, 4 hits maybe, right? And Wale gave them nothing but hits, everything but hits. You know what I'm saying? And it still didn't work out. Even in this time, him and Cudi is still cool because Cudi's on Ambition. You know, he got a record called with Lloyd, and his voice is he loses his voice, and he's fighting through to finish the record, and it gives it a dope sound. Slight Work is on there. You know what I'm saying? To me, this is a classic album under Wale's belt.
Big Sean ate him up on that, by the way.
Absolutely. Shout out to Detroit, right, Reg? But yeah, change like every and then he has like he focuses on the hip hop nostalgic, right? The triple entendre meaning of chain music, where he breaks it down. That's equivalent to Nas's Gun record, where they talk about one thing but it has a deeper meaning, right? His chain music record, he talks about, finally being in a position to have the luxurious chain, but look what that shit means. So Wale took off, man. I'm sorry. Like
he did.
I feel like yes, Attention Deficit was his debut, but I feel like it was a prelude to what potentially could become of this artist. And I think Ambition showed it what it can be of this artist. That's why I don't think the double MG stamp hurt. I think it helped at this time. You know what I'm saying? He's MMG is on Warner, so their only focus is MMG. But then when they get to Atlantic, that's when things get it gets shaky, which can also go against Wale's career. He never had a stable home as far as label wise. He jumped from home to home to home to home to home. He's never been a priority. He's never been as.
No, go ahead,
bro. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, how do you think his career would have ended up if he just stayed on like not just the go-go shit, but he just took his own path? Like, how do you think it would have ended up? Do you think
if he would have stayed on his go-go shit, I don't think he'd be this big. I think he'd be smaller. I think he would be. If
he didn't have the backing of a Ross, so I'll put it like this: how influential do you think he became or Ross became to Wale's sound? How influential do you think that he was?
I think Ross helped him with his beat selection. I don't think anybody has ever, you know what I'm saying? So for example, That Way with Jeremiah and Ross, right? That's a Lex Luger beat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At that time, Lex is scorching. But Lex kind of throws him an R&B beat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he has the ability to reach Diplo. You know what I'm saying? With you got. I mean, Mark Henry is all over this album. Tone P is all of this album, but I think that helps. You know, and you see him trying to figure it out because remember. I think he led this album with that Bad Girls Club or with J. Cole, and that shit sucked.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
So he was still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But with Ross, with being on Ross, I think Ross gave him a lot of patience. You know, Ross actually believed in him. Ross gave him the ability to spread his rings. Ross didn't try to pigeonhole him. He didn't do the trap vibes. Matter of fact, I think Ross got more smoother working with Wale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Ross got way more smoother being around Wale, hearing his sound. You know,
he definitely got younger. He definitely got younger.
He did. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Ross even imagines making a record like Diced Pineapples without Wale being around, or you know, there's some records on the compilation that Ross has credit. Yo, Wale bought. I need that. I want that. Put that on the compilation. You know what I'm saying? The record with where they talk about the snapbacks and
I hate that song.
But you could tell that was easily a Wale influenced record.
Well, yeah, like I think that Wale brings a lot of shit. Like Wale is obviously a swaggy nigga, so I feel that like Rick Ross started probably dressing better and shit like that because of Wale and like learning about shit. Like, nah, seriously, there's a lot of this. Yo, I want to say that this is a Wale appreciation episode, and I find it hilarious like, that this is the episode that Rob isn't here.
I feel like. My fault, guys. I do feel like if all of the people who ever got some sort of sneaker, like Cole, Sean, Drake, got a Jordan, then Nike, you know what I'm saying? Wale never getting a sneaker, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That's really, really, really fucked up. And I can see how he feels. This goes to his point where he feels like, well, maybe I'm not light-skinned enough, or maybe, you know, I don't fit the mold of getting certain things, because a person like Wale not teaming up with like a Puma, a Reebok, or whoever to design a shoe or merch or whatever, those are some of the things that also transcends to keep an artist relevant. You know what I'm saying? Look at Big Sean's merch goes through the roof. Big Sean has his own shoe. Drake, we all know what Drake merch do. You know what I'm saying? Look at J. Cole. The nigga was selling sneakers. The guy wears sweats all over the place.
So we get to a point with merch though, where it's the attachment to the artist first, and not the clothes, not the clothes and the merch. Because I feel like Big Sean quality of merch is really good. J. Cole's merch, I was looking at it the other day because he dropped some shit for off season. And it's not very good. He dropped some very mid shit, but it's gonna sell because people love J. Cole, so it's gonna sell. It's gonna go.
But I feel like Wale would have the reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that shit hard. It may be Wale's. I don't fuck with that nigga music, but that shit hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think his would be the reverse because I think his style transcends to the younger crowd. If anybody. The two people the kids were dressing like was either Wale or Big Sean with the Tisa snapbacks, the pals, the G-Shocks, the Bape. They embodied that look. They had the image, they had the style. So I just felt like you know how you say the off the court things, the off the mic things, what happens outside of the studio doesn't really help for Wale. Most people will go into they'll put the artist into acting. You'll see them in a TV thing here or there, or you'll see them do merch or whatever else. Wale never got that shot to collab with the nigga did a whole Jordan 3 record. You know what I'm saying? You would have thought, okay, Wale got this song talking about the Jordan 3s.
It wasn't some basic shit.
It was a deep ass song. You know what he had to do? You know what he had to do to roll out that song? Go to Flight Club and buy every Jordan 3. Why not team up with Jordan and get a Wale exclusive? Fucking DJ Khaled got his own 3. Who the fuck wants to wear that? You know what I'm saying? These are the certain things that if Wale had a stable home, a stable manager, a stable PR, a stable
These are
something,
things, yeah. These are
you
things that he just created for himself organically, but he needs somebody to help him, like
to facilitate that.
yeah.
He needed a manager like that just maybe like a Hovain, or somebody who just, you know, I don't even know. Everybody knows these key people a part of their team. Like you can always like know somebody's team. Like you know who's in J. Cole's team. You know who's in Drake's team. You know who's on Sean's team. You know who's on Cuddy's team. But you can't really name anybody in Wale's team. That's also a part of the attachment, knowing the team members. Oh, okay, I fuck with his manager. Like we all know Chubbs. How many times you ever heard Chubbs speak? You know what I'm saying? We all know who we know Felton, who graphics who's a part of the art direction for Dreamville. We all know certain intangible players. I don't know nobody in Wale's team, whether it's a manager, assistant, his best friend. You know what I'm saying? That white guy, I don't mean to slander his name, but we all grew. If you were a Wiz fan, you grew up with the white guy that's always around Wiz, who turned out to be his manager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who is Wale Scooter Braun?
But that's also the artist doing that though. Like the artist, we know about Chubbs because Drake raps about him all the time. We know about Tez Bryant.
Yeah.
They rap about him all the time. So it's like when you see these people, you're like, oh yeah, we hear about him. While they don't rap about his circle, that's up to him to do. Like you got to curate that.
So with that being said, we could also say Wale could probably be his own worst nightmare.
Of course. Yeah, we've always said that. I feel like everybody has always said that. It's just certain things, like I'm not in no way, and I'm not an A&R, I'm not like a manager, but obviously we say all of this shit from the outside looking in, right? And we say it because we feel like shit can go a certain way for the benefit of him. So like
something ain't right, man. Something ain't right. Like
yeah, it's something.
I just like you don't know his circle, and like he does. But the crazy thing is, he does have a group of people that surround him. It's just that he's always like he doesn't incorporate them like the way other artists do. Like I understand what the point LA is making. Like everybody's teams, like we know their team. Even Big Sean, who usually like the face of things, like we do know his team, right? Like it is very interesting though. Like Wale has a team of people. I forget their names. Like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I know, but like, you know, I'm one of the people that's privileged for like some certain small, very small, intricate behind the scenes thing. Very small though, very small, very small. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just like I said again, I just think Jimmy Iovine and this guy, what's his name? What's this guy's name? Damn, what's his name? Mark Ronson fucked them over.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Iovine and Mark Ronson fucked them over, bro. Like that's it. Like that's like the meat and potatoes of it. I enjoy this album. It's 14 tracks, good feeling. I kind of been listening to it all week, and I'm just like, damn, man, they really fucked this man over. Like that's what I kept repeating myself saying it over and over.
I think you know, sometimes we see it a lot, right? Where artists get mishandled, especially for their first time out. And with Wale, we didn't see something like that. Like I think shit randomly, A. Marie one thing came on today, like when I was at work, and like that super powered go-go. I was in Detroit. I didn't even know what go-go was till that song. And then I started like looking into it, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is a whole culture of music. Like this is something else. And so when Wale surfaced, you know, it's not necessarily keen to that same sound, but you can see the same elements. So like, I think if he took his time to refine that sound, this is why I say maybe he should have like really drove it home with that album, and maybe even did the rollout a little different, because when you're introducing a sound, it takes some time. So like that was his chance to really put go-go out there in that hip hop way. Like when you see what Nelly did for St. Louis, and for that sound, and even for their accents and for their way of speaking and shit like that, like that took some time to really catch on. I think with Wale, maybe he didn't want to be pigeonholed, and so he went completely another way. But
I see that.
yeah, I could see that. But like,
yeah, fear of being you.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not mad. I'm not completely mad at the way that his career has turned out. But I just wish that I got more of what I got on Attention Deficit.
So I put it to you like this. Wale did I remember it's like 2015, he had talked about he wanted to do like a go-go album, like a full go-go album. Ross okayed it and everything. But what happened was Ross went to jail. So I don't know, like, if that held up the album or permission or, you know what I'm saying, or getting it cleared. But Wale
I
did
completely
say,
forgot that man went to jail.
yeah, Wale did say he had a go-go album. I know she gets clowned on a lot, but Tinashe was on it. He said,
Tinashe's so talented, and I don't know why she gets clowned. She's so talented.
I don't know neither.
She ain't got no neck.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's what they be saying.
but yeah, Wale did say he was gonna make a go-go album, and you know, I think he gives a piece of go-go at least one record, album, but it never pops off. Maybe that's us as the fans' fault. You know, maybe if he got one to pop, he'd be more confident to do it again. Kind of like with the Nelly thing. Nelly had a few of them pop, and it was like, fuck it, we here now. The door's open.
Yeah, the door's
open. Maybe he tried and the door didn't even crack, and he was like, all right, at least it stays under the radar, you know? But then you notice Wale started doing shit that hit, whether it was his poetry at the end of the records or the records or his records with women. Those were his number one singles. Wale never really got a rap number one single in a sense. Like, yes, he was rapping, but it wasn't on some like, it wasn't on some like, yo, the record about the Jordan 3s. It was more about Lotus Flower Bomb. So he saw what cracked. So Wale was trying to stay. You know what I'm saying? He was doing whatever it could to stay. He didn't have that ability that Cole and Drake had when they say, yo, I have arrived. I could do whatever I want. I have the creative freedom, and my fans are going to fuck with it. Even if mainstream don't fuck with it, my fans are strong enough to give me a number one. Wale didn't have that moment where he could say, yo, I'm here now. I'm going to give you this go-go song. And everybody's going to love it. So what he did, he stayed in his pocket. He gave you Matrimony. He gave you Lotus Flower Bomb. He teamed up with a powerful R&B act, and he gave you a number one, period.
And he gave you, and I applaud him. I applaud him for, he was on the whole vibe of like making music like, you know, like world type records before Drake really took it and really took off with it. Like Drake, I think when Drake, he did that way before Drake did One Dance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like he started working with artists in different countries and shit, and like it, and you know, really like cultural shit, like from where he's from, actually, I should say.
But see,
the brother's Nigerian. Like, we forget that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like his real life name, I'm not gonna butcher it, but like his, like, you know, like obviously Drake uses his real name. J. Cole really is Jermaine Cole, but like Wale's name like has like a very strong meaning. The actual pronunciation of the full name, I'm not gonna butcher it, but
it does have Wale in it.
Yeah, it does, but I'm just the beginning of it. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess it up,
but
like he's nice. Like I just think that a lot of things got overlooked with him because of, like, I keep repeating myself. It's just that he wasn't standing next to someone properly. Like I really wish that either Jay had got a hold of him or Kanye had got a hold of him, and I think his career would have been different. Obviously, him getting with Ross wasn't terribly bad, but maybe if he would have started his career with Ross, we would look at him different versus him going to Ross after what we were introduced with.
But that was only 2 years later, though, bro.
It didn't matter. People already identified him a certain way, and they thought that Ross was too. Because you gotta remember, like, Ross is like technically a gangster rapper. So they were like, Meek fits, Pill fits. What the fuck is Wale doing here? Even though, like, Wale is from the DMV. All that gangster shit, he grew up around it. So it wasn't like he was like, you know, fucking John Legend or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't know what was up, but people just didn't want that from him. I'm just saying. I really feel strongly about this. Like,
so let me ask you a question, right?
mm-hmm.
The way we see LeBron, D Wade, and Melo, right? Obviously, Melo has no rings. Melo has no finals appearance. But we all understand Melo is like one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen, right? And we're okay with that. Nobody needs to say, yo, Melo needs a MVP or a ring to be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't need that. You know, we fully accept that he'll fall under the tier of great players to never win a ring. We just want to see Melo play, right? Why can't we do that for Wale? Why does Wale have to be the LeBron-esque, the Wade-esque, the KD-esque, even though his skill set says that? But if his career doesn't give him that, what's wrong with him being a Vince Carter?
You know what? That's a really good example. But I think reason being that we kind of want more from him is that I see the potential of more. Like, you see how we kind of we've accepted that this is Melo, right? Melo was what, 37?
Yeah.
He just turned 37. So like he's at that yeah. He just hit that part in his career where it's like the respect thing. It's like kind of where Iverson hit. Where when Iverson was on the Pistons, we was like, yeah, nah, it's over, but you're still Allen Iverson. Like you still that nigga. So like I think with Wale, it feels like he has so much ahead of him still. He has so much ahead of him still.
So
and
what is it?
This is it though. And at the same time, you can tell that he's not completely happy with where he is.
Yeah.
So that's
sure.
what makes us. Melo has always seemed mad cool with his position. Where
Melo was Melo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Wale knows that he can offer more. He knows that he's nice, and he's been complaining about it for years. So that's the difference right there. He wants more.
So what is it? Because Wale has 2 #1 albums. Wale has #1 records. Wale has #1 singles. What does he need? A Grammy? What does he need?
No. All right, I'm gonna tell you what Wale needs to do, what he will never do. Wale needs to Nipsey hustle it and go independent and do things indie. He'll be more gratifying for him, right? But what happened is that his basically early on in his career, even though like he put out his first mixtape, I want to say all the way back in 2005. Like I forgot the name of it, but like it was 2 mixtapes before 100 Miles a Run. But he was on a label, and sometimes when your first experience in the music industry is being on a label, you don't want to go independent because you got to do everything yourself. Like he wants all those other things, but I think that if Wale was more hands-on with everything in his creative process, as far as getting the music to his fans, I feel like it would be more gratifying for him. And
you don't think he's hands-on?
No, I'm talking about as far as like how Nip was. Like I don't think that like he knows like I don't think like he interacts with his fans as much as he could. Obviously, physical CDs is not a thing anymore, right? But I think that Wale, he probably has a relationship with some fans, but I really think that if he was independent, because you're independent, there's more footwork and there's more decisions that have to like that land on him and not a label executive per se. I think that he will definitely be more satisfied in what's going on with his music.
Okay, so let's go.
Prime example. Anytime the Lox get interviewed, right? Styles P is like completely independent, right, as a solo artist, and Jadakiss' label. Jadakiss always says, "I don't want to deal with none of that shit. I don't want to do it." But like Styles is always happy with what happens with his projects, even though it might not do very well, because like he knows exactly who's listening to his music and is not getting lost in the sauce. He has full control over the marketing and everything like that.
Let me ask you a question.
bro, Wale knows way more than these people at the labels know what to do with his projects. Literally, Wale comes into the label and tells them what he's going to do, and then they just have to execute it. So why not just handle all that shit by yourself anyway?
I have a question. If we're going to Reg's point, where Reg says, Wale wants to compete, Wale sees himself with the upper echelons, the higher tiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would still need a label to do that. He's not going to do that independently. He can't be that independently. I feel like if he goes indie, that's him accepting, yo, I'm just Mellow, I'm AI.
Okay, no. I wish that, opposed to him signing with MMG, I wish that he chose to go indie and worked his way back up. That's what I wish.
He would have never been who he is now. No way.
He would be huge. He would be a cult figure.
No, he wouldn't.
You wanna know who Wale would be like if he went indie?
Who?
Currency.
No way.
Huh?
No way. No way.
He would.
No way. Absolutely
He
not.
would.
Absolutely not.
Would.
I don't think he would.
He would
have
be a cult hero.
Currency though.
No, he would not.
He puts out a new tape like every fucking week.
Yeah.
Well, not as much. I'm not talking about putting out music that much, but I'm just saying like the adoration and the love.
But we got to. What people take away from Currency was the first Young Money member, bro.
Yeah.
He had that Squad Up following with the original.
I was about to say, yeah,
Young
it wasn't Young Money, it was Squad Up.
Yeah, but when Young Money first became an imprint, Currency was the first artist on that imprint. That is
I remember
a
it
fact.
differently. Young Money wasn't a thought yet. It was still Squad Up, but I'm not gonna argue with you on that because I'm not 100%. But I don't remember Young Money being a thought.
But I'm still saying Currency left Young Money or because even early in the stage of Nicki and Nicki being there, she would take jabs at Currency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would make mention that Wayne doesn't have to worry. She would break double entendres and flips on Currency, or Wayne don't have to. Wayne's first artist didn't work out, but she's the queen and blah blah blah. She's Nicki Lewinsky. That was early when the Currency wave, right? So with Currency was able to leave with a fucking Lil Wayne fan base following, bro. I kept up with Currency because I was fucking listening to the Squad Up tapes, the dedication tapes.
I still remember the Where the Cash At record with Remy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. And that horrible green screen video.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
She asks what cash shit.
Exactly. And they gave that record to Currency. I remember when that shit debuted on 106 in Park.
Yeah.
So he left with something. Wale didn't leave Interscope with anything. Like I said, if we go back to me thinking chilling is all Wale have, I'm not checking for that nigga again. Are you crazy?
It's all about the presentation. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, bro. How are you introduced to somebody is how you keep up with them. Whether I want to continue to root for them or if they come along, they come along. Wale would have had to hit a couple of home runs indie for me to say, oh damn, let me actually go back and revisit. Currency had one of my favorite verses with the Wayne record. I forgot. Here's a little something about me. Currency can tell you how to flip a brick to a key. Blah 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 blah. Throw the Bentley off a cliff, and that's what you call a Bentley drop or some shit like that. That was my favorite Currency line. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to keep up with Currency after the fact. Wale after Interscope, if him going with Ross saved his career, and it's okay. I don't think if Wale doesn't ever can do a sellout arena tour by himself, so what? But then you got to look at it this way, right? Neither can Ross. So maybe that's the same thing too. Ross has never done an arena tour. So how could
I don't think he ever will. Yeah, you're right.
So how do you expect the person next to him to do that too? But you know who has done arena tours? How did the world meet Drake? On an arena tour. So you get in practice performing in front of an arena that is something you're gonna try to sustain. Same thing with Nicki. Same thing with fucking where did we meet J. Cole? Next to Jay in a fucking arena. You know what I'm saying? If we met Wale at BB King's, then that's probably where we're gonna see him again. When you look at when you look at Wale on the road, I've never seen him do you never seen him go on tour with big acts. Even if he opened up, he didn't swallow that pause. You know what I'm saying? But even then, it was like, okay, Jeezy knew to go on tour with Jay. So did Trey Songz. They knew they would, even if they were opening up, that was the biggest crowd they had. Same thing.
That was their management.
Just let me finish, brother. Even with Khaled, right? He knew good and well open up for Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Or open up with Jay. Because I'm doing a baseball tour, a baseball stadium tour.
Was that the Formation tour?
Or it was either that or On the Run tour. It was one of them shits. But
it was On the Run.
Yeah, those are certain things that I don't think helps Wale. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, how much are we gonna ask for a guy who doesn't have the access to those things? You know what I'm saying?
I guess you know, the question even came about because he's always expressed wanting more for himself. Or he's always expressed being an underdog and being tired of being an underdog and being nicer than a lot of niggas and not getting.
But it's not about being nice, bro.
It's not.
That's horrible. I think that's what sucks about these rappers. Like, they don't have the other intangibles that goes into the artistry of being just more than the artist. Now, what may help, I mean, more than the rapper, what may hurt Wale is because he feels like he can do the other things. I can give you a wedding record. I could give you a prom record. I could give you a party record. I could give you a battle rap record. I could give you a Macy's record. I could give you a Flight Club record. I can do it all, right? But yeah, you can, but what team are you on? You know what I'm saying? That hurts. Yeah. That hurts. We see that now. Everybody's clicking up. Yeah, you clicked up, but out of all the clicks, your click is not the highest click. You're clicking with MMG. That was a great click, right? Three good people, right? Cool. But then what happens? That was like the Celtics. They had their run, but then what happens when Wade, Bosh, and LeBron decides to team up? Who we gonna want to watch more? That's when good music comes, and they come in full throttle. And I'm more entertained by good music at this point. They're more versatile. I could get more out of them. I'm gonna listen to Cruel Summer before I listen to the first MMG album. You know. So I just think where he fits on the total pole, I think Wale overachieved in my it's just it's perspective. I feel like Wale overachieved. Getting released from your first album in 09, then teaming up with Ross, being a part of MMG, being
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're not.
Sorry to cut you off. I really am, but you know, you've been talking a long time. I'm sorry to cut you off. I feel like Wale could at least be on Big Sean's level. Period.
What's Big Sean's level? Because if we look at the albums comparison, Wale wins. So what's Big Sean's level? Are we talking popularity?
To who though? Who you talking about? To who though? I think because Big Sean has some massive songs, like huge.
I said albums. If we do the album catalog, if we do catalog collections, right? Who has a better catalog?
That's not what I'm hearing. Though. Like,
I'm asking you, in your opinion, who has a better catalog? Wale or Sean?
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. It's about even, and I'll be honest with you. I'm leaning towards Wale, so it's 51-49 for me, right? Because Hall of Fame, I like a handful of songs. Big Sky Paradise, I think is fucking Big Sky Paradise, I think is magnificent, and Detroit, I think is magnificent. Detroit 2, I think is magnificent.
Detroit don't count because then if you're gonna count Detroit, then count for Lauren for Wale.
I do. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about like you said body of work. You didn't say just studio album.
I said catalog.
That's in his catalog. It's just
it's open to that.
But I'm just saying. What I'm saying is that I just told you. For me, they equally make the good. Like their music is just as good as one another's. But Wale 51%, just because I just prefer Wale sometimes to Big Sean.
Okay.
Like if I go and like if I go on Tidal or Apple Music right now, I'm typically going to like play like a Wale song because he has some of like my favorite songs like ever in my life. Like so, there's certain songs that he has that I'm always going to go back to more so than Big Sean. But it's a toss up, like because it's not like I'm mad if I listen to
Okay,
a Big Sean
so
project.
what does Wale need to equal up to Big Sean? What's the difference?
He needed the fucking cosign the time he came out, and that's what I've been saying the whole episode.
Maybe he have a celebrity girlfriend.
No, it's not that. He didn't need a celebrity girlfriend. I'm just telling you.
Nobody cared about her. Sorry.
What Wale needed, he needed that cosign early on in his career, and it just never happened for him. It didn't work out that way.
What do you mean?
But it was. I mean, nobody cared about him and Solange, and we found that out
if him and Solange openly dated, people absolutely would have cared about it.
But yeah, but that's what I just said. We found out after the fact.
Yeah, we found out after she curved his ass and got him fired from Rock Nation.
Is that true?
He ain't work for Rock Nation after he broke up. I mean, he wasn't managed by him no more.
Okay, Torian has been breaking news all day, bro. So maybe that Jay-Z feature would have saved his career. Maybe him staying with Solange would have saved his career. Maybe if they didn't break up, he would have been on Rock Nation.
I don't want to say save career because he's not drowning. He's good.
I don't think so neither.
I just don't think he is where he wants to be. Now, I haven't heard a complaint from him in a while, so maybe he's content now.
No. I think he wants to stop being the complainer. Okay. You know what? You know how black women feel like when they voice themselves, they get considered the nagger.
You comparing this man to women?
Just listen, bro. See, when you do that, thank you. I feel like the same thing with Wale. When he complains, he doesn't get heard. He gets misunderstood. He gets deemed as one thing when he means another. Kind of like black women when they voice their opinion, but instead of somebody listening to them, they'll say, "Oh, they're nagging," or "You don't want to be the angry black woman." Wale is tired of being labeled the disgruntled artist, the person who's always complaining, something who's never happy. He's trying to change his image, even the way he does, which is why he's now transparent about him having anxiety or being awkward or sharing because
he's always done that though.
But I think now it's like,
look at the album title, like he's never hit it.
What are you talking about?
The album title. Attention to
play. Just let me finish. Eat your Fruity Loops and
your muscle milk. I'm not even trying to build muscle. I'm trying to like talk. I want to be really exercised.
This nigga was eating raspberries and blueberries with protein muscle milk.
I want to be slim.
So yeah, I just feel like he wants to change the narrative that's attached to Wale. He doesn't want to be labeled as the complainer. So yeah, I still feel like he's complaining because fucking Maybach is back on Warner. Like I said, he's never had a steady home. His last album, what's the shit? Wild Ass Crazy. He's back on he's back on Warner. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
crazy.
So it's like he's never had a solid home, son. And I just feel like those are some of the things that Wale needed to be at that level that Torian feels he should be at. But for me, I personally think, this nigga is great. And I think his fans know that too.
Well, no, his fans definitely know that, and his fans really, really fight for Wale's supremacy. They want.
Yeah, man. I wish Robbie Digital could have been here tonight.
I wish he could too. I would have loved to hear his takes on this, but he's gonna be. And I know when he listens to this episode, he's gonna want to fucking jump through his phone and argue with all of us. So I'm curious to see what he thinks. But to his surprise, we didn't shit on Wale. This is all, us trying to figure it out. Us talking about his trajectory. Us talking about where he was then and where he is now, and what could work best. You know, so I'm happy with it. This was really a good episode. LA, you brought up some good points, man.
Thank you, bro. I
Yeah.
like being here. You guys are the best. I love you guys. I want you guys to
man.
be great.
Leo season is upon us.
This has been great, man. I am and will always be First Class Reg.
And I am and will always be Torian B, aka El Padrino, aka Big Chocolate Dropper in the building.
And I will always be First Class C.
There we go. So we are out. We are out of here. Peace.